This is a special podcast presentation from 700WLW.com. This is Darryl Parks On Demand.
6 after 10, I'm Darryl Parks. Our financial guru, Howard McEwen, joins us. Howard, how are you?
I'm good, Darryl. How you doing?
Not bad. Howard, I want you to hear something, all right?
Welcome to Downgrade Nation.
It's unbelievable. The first time we've been below a AAA plus rating since 1917.
Yeah,
It's been
wonderful.
All right, Howard, I want you to hear something. This is Timothy Geithner. Go ahead.
Is there a risk that the United States could lose its AAA credit rating, yes or no?
No risk of that.
No risk.
No risk. Again, if you listen carefully now, you see the leadership of the United States of America, the president, the Republican leadership in both houses, and the Democrats recognizing now that this is the right thing to do for the economy, that we have to put in place now reforms that bring down our long-term deficits in ways that will help strengthen future growth. And that's incredibly important recognition by people, and we'd like to put something in place as soon as we can so we can begin that process.
So Standard & Poor's is wrong. The United States will keep its AAA credit rating.
You know, people, absolutely.
Howard, how dumb is Timothy Geithner?
That was February 2010, if I remember right?
Yeah.
And how dumb is he? You know, you can't figure out TurboTax, but what Geithner was saying there was isn't being proven this wrong now. Obviously, the S&P is the formal stating the U.S. debt's been downgraded, but about 25% of AAA corporate bonds are paying a less of a yield than government debt, meaning the market thinks it's safer in those corporate bonds and treasuries, and that's been going on about right after he said that.
All right.
So finally, rating agencies are coming to that conclusion, too.
Yeah, Howard, what does this mean to us? Like to me, to you, to anyone that has a 401k, to anyone that has, well, we can't include a government pension because that's kind of like guaranteed. But, you know, somebody that actually like works for a living and has a risk as they head toward retirement. Like, you know, somebody like you, you're in your 40s. I'm 51. So we're not going to be touching our retirement for a while. But you know, but somebody that's 41, 45 years old. What does this mean?
Well, there's two effects right off the bat. Monday, if things work out the way I'm expecting them to, interest rates are going to go higher because most of the country's interest rates are considered U.S. Treasury. Now that
all right, Howard, you still there? Howard's getting one of those free cell phones. Howard. Okay, yeah, Howard's on the run. I'll put him on hold here for a second, and maybe it will improve. But here's my point in all of this: how they thought by borrowing more. Well, we lost him now. All right, could you try to dial him back there, Megan? My thought in this whole thing was how, if you're a deadbeat, you are financially bankrupt, you're owing more than you can pay back. Your credit rating is dropping, but if you go into debt further and somebody loans you more money, how is that going to increase your credit worthiness? I'm not figuring out in pure fundamentals. I'm not figuring how that works out. I don't get that. All right, Paul is in Walton, 700 WLW. Hey, Paul.
Hey, Darryl. Actually, I'm on my way to Fancy Farm. I'm about 30 miles from there with my grandson, Jacob. Before they passed this latest fiasco, he owed $45,000 on the national debt. They raised it $9 trillion and cut it $2 trillion. So this means my grandson, who will start his part-time job Tuesday, owes $69,000 before he draws his first check on the national debt. This is a joke.
Well, that's Paul. You're not counting everything. Paul, it's more than that.
I'm not counting all the unfunded mandates. No, you mean the pensions and all that nonsense?
Yeah, you know how much he really owes? He owes like $540,000. I brought that up on my show numerous times.
Darryl, I wish you could be here at Fancy Farm. This is the mother of all battles down here. There'll be a real shootout at the Fancy Farm picnic.
All right. Well, Paul, what do you think of this disgrace that happened this past week?
Well, I think we were sold a bill of goods. My father-in-law used to say whenever they talk about cutting taxes, that means they're going to raise them. And that's exactly what they do. Rand Paul is dialing the right number. He'll be down here.
Well, here's the problem, Paul. They didn't cut a single nickel in this deal. Not a nickel. They reduced future spending. And the budget over the next 10 years is forecast to go up 8%. They didn't cut anything. It's an outrage. Denny in Dayton, 700 WLW.
How you doing this morning, Darryl?
Not bad.
Hey, I forwarded you a news story, just pretty fresh there, that the Chinese have released statements completely chastising us and our borrowing and spending and calling, just like, I don't know if you've got that commercial slotted anywhere for the guy with the video, the end of America stuff. They're calling for a new money standard to get everybody off the dollar.
Yeah, Porter Stansbury. Is the end of America guy. And what he is saying is that all hell is going to break loose because at some point in the very near future, the U.S. dollar is going to be removed as the world's currency. And when that happens, and for instance, the Saudi Arabians, for their oil, they want a German mark or whatever it may be. All hell's going to break loose in this country. The country's going to go into hyperinflation, and your life and my life and everyone's life as we know it is going to change.
Absolutely. And it sounds like it may be coming true, as he said. But the question I have is, this administration is saying, well, you really won't see interest rates change in the short term. If the Chinese, our biggest lender, is saying they're, quote, the good old days of borrowing are over, and we have to go borrow money from somewhere else, how do the rates not go up?
Well, that's fundamental.
Yeah,
I mean, it's simple, Denny. It's just like all this pablum that we heard, that if we go further in debt, our credit rating will go up, or it will stay the same. We'll stay at the top. And how is that possible? If you go further into debt in Dayton, your credit rating isn't gonna stay good, or whatever it may be. If it's, let's say it's 800 or whatever, you go further into debt, your ability to pay it back, and
if you need to borrow, you have to pay more because of the higher. I mean, this is just
it's fundamental.
This is so basic, it's unbelievable. And on your Facebook also, I posted for everyone a little refresher course. People need to watch that Milton Friedman from the 80s, Free to Choose series. Remember that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
People really need to get back to basics and listen to Uncle Milty. He was a genius. I wish he was alive today. I'd give everything I have to see him debate Barack Obama, Timothy Geithner and company.
All right.
He would undress them.
Denny, watch yourself today if you go to Fifth Third Field and get that, spend $25 for 4-ounce beers at the beer tasting. Howard, you back?
I think I'm back.
All right.
You have to blame the Great Smoky Mountains.
All right, you were talking about rising interest rates. So let's put this in real, easy to understand terms. If I were going to go out and buy a car today, or I was going to wait until next weekend, should I buy the car this weekend or next Saturday?
Well, I don't think the rates are going to adjust that quickly down through all the corporate stuff, but I would expect rates to go up by 1/4 to 1/2 percentage point.
Howard? He is using one of those free phones. He really is. Well, we'll let Howard go. Howard's traveling, as he said. He's in the Smoky Mountains, which is as rural as rural gets. I was there a couple of weeks ago. Off on a tangent here for a second. If you've ever been to the Smoky Mountain, and I was at Smoky Mountain National Park. I love to hike. I love to climb mountains. I had never been there before. It's the most visited national park. We were staying in Gatlinburg, which is about 3 blocks long. At the end of the street, if you've never been there, is the entrance to Smoky Mountain National Park. At the hotel we were staying at, I asked the bartender, I said, how many people come to Gatlinburg and don't go to the park? He said, the vast majority. And I said, why? He said, I guess they come here to play miniature golf. And then you go to Pigeon Forge, which is about 5 miles long of a strip of miniature golf, Elvis museums, wax museums, and go-kart racing, not to mention a replica of the Titanic. I mean, it is Americana, I should say, Americana run amok. That's all right if you dig that kind of stuff. But go to Smoky Mountain National Park. It's kind of cool. 16 after 10. We'll check the forecast next. Also, this hour, I want to get into the Geezer concert that happened at Great American Ballpark on Thursday on the Fox 19 Storm Tracker forecast from meteorologist Steve Horsemeyer. Partly sunny for today, maybe some showers, a thunderstorm this afternoon. Possibly heavy rain, gusty winds, high of 89. And then for tonight, partly cloudy, warm and muggy, and a light chance of a shower with an overnight low of 73. So pretty nice tonight for the Blues Fest at Sawyer Point. And also Geta Fest happening in Newport on the Levee. And tomorrow, partly sunny, hot and humid. We get a slight chance of a shower and high 91, 78, 700 WLW. I'm Darryl Parks. And I was joking about, if you haven't heard the story, I was joking about Howard's phone there, if he was getting a free phone. Talking about the free phone from the government. Because I guess it's a civil right now that cell phones are to be given out. Now, I did the math on this, and wait till you hear this. Look, every month as you're paying your cell phone bill, there's a fee called the Universal Service Fund. Chances are when you looked at your bill, if you even look at it, you probably have never questioned that. And you have said, that must be important. It sounds important. Universal Service Fund. Right? You have never questioned it. What it does is provide free phones to those that cannot afford phones, or so they say, schools and also libraries. And this is beautiful. In this article here, and this is from a European newspaper about this Universal Service Fund, it says it's paid for by the telecommunication companies. No, it's paid by you. You know, the people that are actually paying for your cell phone. See here. This says, this guy talking Heritage Foundation. Our society cannot afford to give free everything to everybody. I agree with that. You're a good man. You're a good man, Robert Rector. The phones are distributed by companies like SafeLink and also Assurance Wireless. Assurance, who operates in 27 states, has 5.5 million people in the program in Pennsylvania, the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania alone. Now, I understand Doc Thompson's going to talk about this, but Doc probably wouldn't bother doing the math on this, so I'm going to do it for you. In the state of Pennsylvania, the state has 12,700,000 residents. The state of Pennsylvania, one company alone is giving out free cell phones in the state of Pennsylvania to 5.5 million people. Let's do the math. That's 43%. Why would you not go and get a free cell phone? And why is it assumed a cell phone is a civil right? Prior to coming in the studio this morning, I say this tongue-in-cheek, I looked at the Bill of Rights. And surprisingly, none of the top 10 said anything about phone service. This is simply another example of people taking more from government than putting in. This is incredible. This is truly incredible. And this was signed into law in the ever-popular Telecommunications Act of 1996, which allowed broadcast consolidation. And I guess, what was this, on page 726? Lord. The Assurance Wireless spokesman, the guy that has giving out 5.5 million free cell phones in Pennsylvania alone, said this is all about peace of mind. Peace of mind. It is a right to have peace of mind. Have you ever seen that one too? That phrase? It is a civil right to have peace of mind. This is incredible. Both companies get $10 a month per customer from the Universal Service Fund, which gives those on low income 250 minutes to use a month. The yearly contracts are reviewed every 12 months. Recipients have to provide proof of income to qualify for the free service. Years ago, there was a big debate about the bums in hanging out in Cincinnati. You know, where we're overrun by bums on the streets. And it was a classic telephone call to the big one. The bums are organized in downtown Cincinnati. There is a head pimp bum, and then he organizes the other bums to go sit on corners and bum money from you as you may be walking into Great American Ballpark or Paul Brown Stadium. The head pimp bum called in to defend the bums underneath him. Did he use a payphone? No. The head pimp bum used his cell phone to call in and defend his bums. So if he was a bum and had no income, how did he afford a cell phone? Well, now we know. The Universal Service Fund. The head pimp bum applied. Said he didn't have any income, and as a civil right, he needed a cell phone to call talk shows. It kind of makes me feel violated. A little dirty. Like I need a shower. Today's show has been about enabling people. I guess talk shows enable people. And enable people with free cell phones. Like the head pimp bum. 513-749-7000, 1-800 the big one, pound 700 on AT&T. Oh, and I was just peeking out the window. I saw a postal truck drive by. The guy gave me the finger. It's 28 after 10 on the big one, 700 WLW. 700WLW.com. Go to my blogs. Search the word Darryl, D-A-R-R-Y-L. Yeah, I hate to say it, and I know this is going to be very politically incorrect. Casey Anthony, the pictures of her in Columbus, hiding out in Columbus. Whoa! Wow. How did we know she was going to end up, the number one Ohio State Buckeye fan, how did we know she was going to end up hiding out in Columbus? Hanging out with the Golden Voice guy, Ted Williams. Maybe she's in Columbus because she's going to take up a relationship with maybe Ryan Widmer. Possible, huh? Possible. 25 in front of 11 on the big one, 700 WLW. Also, friend me on Facebook. Mary writes, she says, Darryl, just think at Christmas, people get all the free toys for their children. They return them and get the money or a gift card. I know they do it at the Walmart at Eastgate. Makes me sick in reference to the free cell phones. Hey, Lady C, you're on the big one.
Yeah, I call you my free cell phone.
But you're not Lady C.
Well,
you see, you're not Lady C.
I am too,
You
Lady
are
C.
not Lady C. This is a bad accent. This is a bad accent.
Lady C Jr.
No. You're white as I am.
Don't you be talking about my mama that way.
Your mama?
Yeah,
You
I'm
have never
Junior.
used the word mama in your life.
Let me tell you something. You got a thing for that Casey Anthony. You know you like that girl.
Well, she's got a smoking hot bod. I don't like her,
So you
but
like a child murdering, no good person like that?
you watch your language there, Lady C, with the fake accent.
I say, why do you like somebody that murdered their own child? You gotta
I'm just
have
saying
some kind
she's
of
got a smoking
issue.
hot bod.
I don't
You
see
have a
nothing.
smoking hot bod?
I think she got a big old nose and a pointy chin and look
Not
like
looking
a
at
witch.
that. I wasn't looking at that.
You're nasty. You looking at
Nasty?
that big old gaping Grand Canyon now? Is that what you
Grand
looking at?
Canyon?
You know what I mean.
That's not nice,
you
Lady
know
C.
What?
It's
She's
not
nasty,
nice. That's a
nasty.
Lady C.
She's more nasty
Where is
than
Miss C when we need her? Are you related to Miss C?
That's my mama.
That's not your mama.
I'd better have
No way.
Sugar.
That's not your mama.
And I'm mad at you. You
You're
talk
mad
about
at
my
me.
mama. You know what? My mama changed.
What's your name,
She's
Smith?
a Republican now, and she living with a white man. She has seen the light. She has seen the light.
Lord,
you know what
lady.
got my mama to see the light?
Lady C.
You,
Here, do me a favor. Do me a favor.
Every day
Do me a favor, will you? We have 5 days until my next show. Do me a favor, or 6 days. Do me a favor. Just work on that accent, all right? Rich, or I should say dialect. Rich, you're on the big one.
I don't think I can follow that call.
Lady C. Mama.
Yeah. How about that? You know, I think.
Hey, Rich, you're a white guy, right?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I'm a white guy, too. That Lady C was as white as us.
I think you're right. I don't know what that was all about. I think this morning after I heard that you gave the information about the cell phone giveaways and then that call and then the crazy thing last night, I think I'm waiting for hell to open up and swallow us all.
Well, Rich, do you have a free cell phone?
No, I don't. I pay for mine.
Did you know what the Universal Service Fund was?
No, I had no idea anything like that was going on, let alone buried in the back of some bill hundreds of pages long.
Yeah, I had a fella just emailed me. Let me see if I can find it here. He says that if you look on your residential bill for Cincinnati Bell, it's there too. On his residential line, it says there is he is paying 76 cents toward the Universal Service Fund. So, Rich, what is your opinion here? Since you're tax killer, Rich, what is your opinion of what happened this past week? How poor did you become when the stock market went down? And do you agree with me that these jackals are lying to us?
I agree with you 100%. It's a reason I called. I am furious with what happened yesterday. It's a disgrace. People like us have been talking about it for a long time. We've thrown the bat signal out and nobody listened. Even way back when you were calling out for people to turn their headlights on for the tax levies. Now this year, same situation. 50% of all the schools are going to have tax levies. Politicians at all levels have no concept of what they're doing, and we're letting them do it.
Mm-hmm. Well, we're enabling them.
It's disgusting. And now, finally, this is kind of like we've given our kid a credit card and sent them off to college. They ran up a huge bill and then said, we need more money. And you have to tell them, no, you're not getting any more money. You've been downgraded. And now all these politicians are wondering how in the world they ended up in this situation, and they're pointing fingers at each other, and they only have themselves to blame.
Well, Rich, we have to accept the blame. We have to look in the mirror finally and say it is our fault, at least 25% our fault. It's 25% the fault of the president. It's 25% of the fault of each party, and the other 25%, it's you, me, and everyone else. Because we keep enabling these crack whores to abuse our funds, our tax dollars, whether it's at the school board level, whether it's in your school district here in Lakota, I'm in Forest Hills, whether it's in the city of Cincinnati, the Hamilton County Commissioners, they're crack whores too. They can't stop spending our money. We're broke. We can't afford 2 stadiums down there.
Nope.
We keep the biggest welfare family is the Cincinnati Bengals.
Oh, yeah.
And unfortunately, I love the Reds, but the Reds, they're getting the benefit of our tax dollars too. Now they're talking about raising the sales tax again in Hamilton County, which is going to do one thing. It's going to make you rich. Continue to shop in Butler County. It's going to make me drive over the county border. I live right on the border of Claremont and in Hamilton County. It's no big deal for me to drive across the border and shop at Eastgate Mall. It's no big deal. So it's going to all the people in Hamilton County, they're going to move, they're going to start shopping in Warren and Butler, Claremont County, name the county, and Hamilton County is going to continue its death spiral.
Exactly. And you know what? You said the magic word. What is the difference between a crack whore and a politician? Nothing.
Nothing.
Absolutely nothing. They both can't get there's never an end to their needs, and they'll do anything to get it.
Well, Rich, you have a good weekend. Hide in the bunker, okay?
Oh, I'm headed there now.
All right, buddy.
See ya.
See ya. 19 I'm glad that Rich is, and by the way, Rich was brought to tears on my monologue of last week. If you head to my blog at 700WLW.com, Rich has his thoughts about last weekend's show. as he teared up as I talked about the disgrace in which we live. 18 in front of 11 on the big one, 700 WL.